There are dramatic events taking place in Saudi Arabia. The Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman, I think is his name, the son of King Salman, the youngest son, who is just about 32 years of age and is behaving like a schoolboy. All that the Saudi royal family had built over, how many, almost 100 years, 1924, almost 100 years. All that King Abdulaziz ibn Saud and his sons had built over almost 100 years while functioning as clients of the United States of America and Britain, and consolidated their power in that country. It's all now under threat of collapse because of this young man. My feeling is that not just Mohammed bin Salman attempting to consolidate power in Saudi Arabia, and as a consequence you have this infighting, and 2 or 3 princes of the royal family have been killed already, and as there must be great resentment now, great resentment in the royal family, and an open split in the royal family. This is the first time that this has happened in the history of Saudi Arabia, almost 100 years now. And I want to suggest to my viewing audience around the world that there's another picture behind this picture of a grab for power. I think that the Saudi religious scholarship that is supporting the Wahhabi religious scholarship that is supporting the Saudi regime, I think that they are now convinced that our analysis is correct, and that is that Pax Americana is now in irreversible decline, and that Pax Judaica is now set to replace Pax Americana. I think they are now convinced also that our analysis is that the nuclear war or Malhama is around the corner, and that Israel will soon make a grab for power, that there will be a great war, and in that great war, the territory of Israel is going to expand dramatically, or at least they're going to attempt to expand dramatically, in order that the biblical frontiers of the Holy Land, that is from the river of Egypt, that is the river Nile, to the river Euphrates, that is what the Bible says. And the Quran, of course, and the Hadith confirm this is false, but that's what they believe. So Dajjal cannot rule over an Israel and claim to be Al-Masih or the Messiah unless and until Israel expands its territorial frontiers to encompass the false biblical frontiers of the state. The Saudi religious leaders and the Saudi part of the Saudi regime now recognize that this is the reality that they face. And as soon as that war takes place, which can be any time now, and as soon as Israel comes out from behind the hijab and wages this big war, there is going to be a situation will arise in Saudi Arabia that they cannot cope with. Number one, the Hajj will be abandoned immediately. You cannot have the Hajj. But other than that, number two, there will be tremendous resentment against the Saudi regime, tremendous resentment against the Wahhabi religious scholarship, and the very great likelihood of revolutionary change in Saudi Arabia. So my analysis is that in anticipation of this, they are now seeking to find a way out of their predicament. And the way out is to transform the environment, the strategic environment in which they are located, into one in which the front burner will be a Sunni-Shia civil war. And in that Sunni-Shia civil war, Saudi Arabia must be the champion of the Sunnis. And that is their insurance policy for survival. So you need a new kind of leadership in Saudi Arabia, which will attack Iran vigorously and try to provoke civil war, Sunni Shia civil war, not just Saudi-Iranian civil war, no, Sunni Shia civil war. And this is why they're treating Qatar with such great hostility, because Qatar is not prepared to play ball. That's why. And if Qatar does not come along with them, then there are many other Islamic Muslim states who are going to follow Qatar and say, no, we don't want to be a part of the Sunni Shia civil war. Pakistan is already backing out of it. And we see momentous change in Pakistan taking place now at this time. So that my analysis of what is happening in Saudi Arabia is that this is an attempt by the Saudi regime, part of the Saudi regime, to try to survive what is ahead of them. But before I end this brief analysis, an incomplete analysis of the events in Saudi Arabia, let me return to a prophecy of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, in which the Salafi are in disagreement with me, as usual. Our Prophet ﷺ prophesied, amongst the signs of the last day, the advent of Imam al-Mahdi. And he said that the event which will trigger the emergence of Imam al-Mahdi, in which he publicly come out in public and declare himself to be the Mahdi, would be the death of a Khalifa. And upon the death of that Khalifa, there would be disagreement concerning succession. It is as plain as daylight to me, and I have said this for the last, how many, maybe 20 years now I've been saying it, that the Khalifa who will die, I want to suggest, would be a Saudi king. No, said the Salafi. No, says Hizb ut-Tahrir. No. Hizb ut-Tahrir and the Salafi declare it has to be a Khalifa, so the Khilafah will be restored. And the restoration of the Khilafah before the advent of Imam al-Mahdi had become a cardinal part of their belief system. Well, they can keep waiting for that. My analysis has been different. I don't know whether there's any other scholar who has supported me on this view, but I have been very plain and clear and public in my statement that I am of the opinion that the Khilafah who will die would be a Saudi king. And there have been many who have supported this view, who have accepted it. And when the Saudi king dies, there will be open disagreement concerning succession. This could possibly happen with the death of Salman. While Salman is still alive, he has the power in the country. But when Salman dies and his son Muhammad is now going to become the king of Saudi Arabia, I think I may just be right that would be the moment when we're going to have open disagreement within the Saudi royal family concerning succession. At that time, said the Prophet ﷺ, a man will come out of Medina and hurry to Mecca. And the people of Mecca will come out to him and urge him and force him to accept the bay'ah to become the Khalifa. So the Khilafah state would be restored. The Khilafah state would be restored with Imam al-Mahdi, because he would be Imam al-Mahdi. And he would accept the bay'ah, or the oath of allegiance, I think it's at the Kaaba by the Black Stone. Between the Black Stone and Maqam Ibrahim, I think. I'm not too sure. You can correct me if I'm wrong. And he would proclaim himself to be Imam al-Mahdi. Which means that perhaps King Salman has a few years well to live again. Because I'm not anticipating that this can take place before the Malhama. The Great War has to take place first. A day like a week may have already commenced. Some of you have been saying that. I have not said it, but I am saying it tonight. Dajjal's day like a week may have already commenced, but Pax Judaica, I don't think has as yet commenced. And when Pax Judaica commences, it will only be a very short period of time. And then Dajjal will declare himself to be the Messiah, and then the Imam can emerge. I anticipate that this is going to take a few years. I don't know how King Salman is going to live that long. So maybe that I am wrong in my analysis, and some of you may be able to correct me. Remember that when I give an opinion, you must never accept my opinion unless you are convinced that I am correct. And I have been wrong in the past, yes, I have been wrong. I anticipated that nuclear war will take place this year. It has not taken place so far. Last year it has not taken place. But I know it's coming. It's coming soon. When it'll come, I don't know. So these are my brief comments concerning the events in Saudi Arabia. It is a subject that we have to continue to watch carefully and continue to have our analysis.